How does empathy relate to leadership? I think it was Leo Tolstoy who said, if you feel pain, then you're alive. But if you feel other people's pain, then you're a human being. And that's exactly what empathy is: understanding what the other person is going through and feeling a little bit of it yourself. And empathy has been a buzzword for decades now, especially after the discovery of mirror neurons and their relationship to empathy. It's been touted as the panacea, as a solution for everything. Don't get me wrong, empathy is a great emotion and probably fundamental to human civilization, language, and culture. But it's important for leaders to understand how empathy works, what is good about it, its limitations, as well as its problems. Let's find out more in this video. Empathy is enabled by mirror neurons, which are a type of brain cell that fires both when we perform an action ourselves or experience something ourselves, and also when we see someone else going through something or performing some action. And there are a lot of benefits to such an emotion. Empathy helps you understand the perspective of others, not just your own children or family and friends, but even strangers. It makes you realize that you don't have any special place in the world and that other people feel the same pain, anxieties, and joys that you do and deserve the same consideration. Empathy can also be powerful enough to fuel social change. Literature, movies, television shows, and books, and now social media and the internet have repeatedly drawn people's attention to the suffering of strangers. Especially in the past few decades, thanks to the internet and social media, we have been able to trigger empathy from anyone in any remote corner of the world like never before. This is often able to fuel worldwide support against atrocities and discrimination and for positive social, governmental, and global change. All this can be very useful for leaders in order to bring about necessary changes or galvanize their team into action, and in being kind and empathetic to those they lead to gain respect and influence. Empathy shines a spotlight on a person or group of people, making you aware of their plight, their suffering, their need. But this very spotlight effect of empathy is often its problem. A spotlight highlights a particular circle of space, but leaves the rest of the stage or room in darkness. Research studies in brain imaging have found that our emotional empathetic response is more pronounced towards some people, those you're close to, those you like or identify with, your own group, your family and relatives, people similar to you, and people you find attractive. We don't have such a strong empathetic response towards people we don't like, those who don't belong to our group, those who don't look good, and those who are different from us. As a leader, you have to be very careful here. Your innate empathetic response may make you empathize more with people you work with closely and people similar to you. Those of you with geographically distributed and remote teams will face this problem even more. You subconsciously empathize more with those you meet and work with every day and those you may socialize with off work. You are less likely to empathize with someone who works in a different or remote office or works from home. Your brain cannot empathize much with someone who you only exchange emails and chat messages with, or hear on the phone and only occasionally interact with. And because of that, you are likely to subconsciously discriminate against them without intending to at all. So it's important for you to try and meet all your team members frequently, either by traveling to the other locations or with frequent video conference meetings. Try and ensure that there are not too many opportunities for decision-making or performance judgments in personal settings with your co-located teams alone. Make sure everyone is present in person or remotely when anything important happens. Give due weightage to opinions, feedback, and achievements of team members who do not work in the same location as you and those you don't meet often. Another big limitation of empathy is that it blinds you to the long-term consequences of your actions. The immediate pain of feeling the other person's anguish or the immediate joy of promising something that brings relief or happiness to someone may overshadow the longer-term implications of what you do or commit to today. Any good parent knows that in order to make a child do something good or stop doing something bad will cause the child immediate unhappiness but is better for him or her in the long run. Do your homework, don't eat too much sugar, eat your vegetables, go to bed at a reasonable hour, don't play too many computer games. Most children will rebel at such rules and discipline. But if the child's temporary anguish or tantrums evoke too much of empathy in you, then you're likely to let go and give in, which could be harmful for your child in the long run. If a manager or supervisor empathizes too much with his or her team members, it is very hard to provide honest feedback or to hold them accountable for their actions, which is harmful and unfair for everyone long term. Change is always unpleasant, but if the short-term unpleasantness and discomfort of your team or organization facing change triggers too much empathy in you, then you're likely to allow status quo to prevail, which may be harmful long-term and may even result in your products and services going obsolete. So, ignoring the temporary unpleasantness of an action for better longer-term impact can be sabotaged by empathy. You need to try and ensure that you analyze the long-term implications and consequences of all your decisions and actions so that you are not driven by a short-term intense empathetic response alone. If you enjoyed this video, please like it and subscribe to my channel.